have a shot at the title. The biggest thing that's going to affect everyone that is a contender is, well, Hubb's now progressed through to the man-on-man round, and so he's looking at getting a ninth. If he gets through that heat where he gets a ninth, that really places pressure on, because pretty much everyone except for myself has to make the final and able to stay in contention. So if Hub gets through his first man-to-man heat, then things will really get interesting. He has a really good shot at the title.
So, to solidify it, give us a scenario after this, right here, up and riding. Amaury Laverhne, oh, in and out, nothing there for Amaury.
We've still got some big sets coming in here at the moment. This is
Stacking.
Pushing 8 foot. The
Easily.
guys are just trying to search all around the lineup to try and get away. If you've got Amaury, he's just found a...
Oh.
No, again, he's pulled off. It's just pushing into the rip there on the side, Manny. There's so much water moving around there that, the guy, like I was saying earlier, you look at the wave. If the rip's in the wave, you have to bar it. But there again, hit the rip, and it just takes out the quality of the wave.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have the wide-angle shot, but there is a rip current that has been lingering throughout the entire morning, throughout the entire day, right in front of the scaffolding, and a lot of competitors are using that to actually get out into the lineup, but actually all of them are. It's a quick and easy way if the sets aren't coming in. Yeah. But catching a wave into that rip, probably not the best unless it's shaped up, formed good. If not, then you're going to just get it into a bumpy mess, and you don't want to be there.
No, definitely not, Manny.
So give us a quick scenario. Jeff Hubbard.
Mm-hmm. So Jeff Hubbard's already qualified into by placing first in his first 2 rounds. He's qualified into the man-to-man round, where his worst possible result is a ninth. He's already got a ninth counting for his top 5 in the World Tour. So if he gets a ninth, that'll still give everyone that's in contention for the world title a possibility of getting a result in this event and being world champion. All the 11 contenders will continue to have a shot if Hub gets knocked out in the man-to-man round.
And that's all going to wind down at Fronton, the last event.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. If Hub, as I said, depending on the other guys' results. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you win the event. Where would Jeff Hubbard have to be?
Well, it'd come down to Fronton. Yeah. Regardless of what happens if Jeff Hubbard doesn't win the Puerto Rico Pro and wrap up the world title, it has to come down to Fronton, regardless of whether I win or Tamaga wins, Winchester, any of the contenders. So okay. It's really a Jeff Hubbard show here to see how he goes with the results.
So if Jeff Hubbard wins, mm-hmm. you would have to get...
I would have to get second. Yeah.
Very
along with Winchester or Tamaga. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting finish.
Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All eyes are on Jeff Hubbard, and right now all eyes are on Dave Hubbard, up and riding.
It's looking like he's at pipeline there, but it's a hard one to come out of, just a touch deep. The wave continues to roll along. More sets approaching out the back.
All right, Amaury Laverhne dropping in on this left-hander, stalling a little bit, finds a session, goes for a big roll.
It's going to be a hard one to come through the whitewash on that.
Oh, my. That was
a big score if he landed that, but yeah, really tough one to make the whitewash. I mean, that was a big section to get air, and he'd really have to be coming far out of the lip and in towards the flats to be able to keep up with the momentum of that wave, but it just rolled him over.
He covered a lot of ground on that and a lot of height. It looked like he was dropping out of 3 meters building, 3 meter story building, and he landed. He looked like he landed perfectly. So we'll see if I couldn't see it from our angle if he pulled it off or not. So we'll wait what the judges score to that. So Hardy, we got the winner of the last heat downstairs, Colomer Tamaga with Shaggy.
I think it's gonna be
Shaggy. Pumped. Where you at, brother?
GT, the winner of the last heat. GT, great surfing, man. Didn't get anything lower than an 8 out there in your scores.
Finally got myself together out there. It's kind of tough out there, but there's some sick waves coming through, and if you're lucky enough, and keep your mind set, you get the high score.
So let's talk about that big roll you did on the left. Hey, talk us through that.
Yeah, I caught this left. It was like I need something big. I need like a 7.78 to go first. And then I was like, I gotta do something big here. And then I got the right bottom turn. The thing just throw me in the air. The hard part is to make the moves. I kind of my body was kind of off. Get the right timing part.
Board and just held on the whole way. Congratulations.
Hold it both hands like this.
The taco grip, I call it. So anyway, congratulations. You want to say hi to your wife and kids back in Hawaii?
Yeah, hello to my amor, meus filhos, minha sogra, beijo pra todos aí no Havaí, minha mãe, meu pai, Fred. Amo vocês aí no Brasil, todos vocês. Tchau.
Okay, thanks very much, GT. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Shaggy. Always great to see Guilherme in his realm. He loves this. He loves these conditions, and I'm sure you've seen some of the action from GT when you've been out in heats with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just the ball. He's talking there about how he had both arms wrapping around the board, and we do apologise for the black screen there earlier, but it's all sorted now, and it should be good to catch the action for the rest of this heat. But yeah, back to Guilherme, he'd have to be the strongest guy in the sport for sure when it comes to like landing moves or manhandling himself through barrels. He's just got not just the strength, but just the heart of a bull. Like he's just so strong-hearted as well as strong in body. It just makes for an amazing athlete, and it's amazing to watch as well, Manny.
All right, a lot of questions have been popping up as far as the equipment here on the message board. Coming into these really, really warm waters of Puerto Rico, and Kingy touched on it briefly, comparing it to Mexico. Everybody showed up to Mexico, and their boards were just really soft, and a lot of the riders weren't not prepared. So they sought out the bodyboard doctor, Jose Rutherford, to add a few more stringers in their boards. A lot of that is happening here now, but some of them aren't prepared.
Yeah, totally, Manny. Yeah, it's not far off the temperature of Mexico, which is really hot.
Yeah.
I've been stupid enough to be wearing a spring suit in my heats, but just because I like the grip.
Yeah.
But I'm cooking out there in a spring suit, so you really need to be wearing board shorts, and therefore your boards are just like Mexico. If you're on a PE especially, it just feels like a rubber mat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much PP or nothing out here, and definitely a stringer, possibly two, and a near new board is what you'd be looking at to be going as fast as you can, and to have a strong enough board to be getting projected out of the lift and landing in the flats with propulsion. Yeah.
The question, when all these guys, including yourself, are landing these big maneuvers from, a 10-foot drop from a roll like we just seen Amaury Laverhne do, how do the riders keep your board from creasing? Because I see a lot of riders coming out of the water, and the boards have not one crease on them, even though they're landing these big moves. What's the secret?
Yeah, for sure, man. That's a pretty easily answered. It all comes down to distribution of weight when you're landing on your board, particularly if you've got a lot of momentum forward towards the beach through the air, and if you're landing really like nice and flat and centered over your board's not going to buckle anyway. Okay. But if you're coming down from a flip or an air reverse or something, and your board's on a bit of an angle to your body, and your body's coming down really hard, it's just going to fold, just going to buckle your board underneath you. So
crease it.
Yeah, so it does help if you've got greater ability and you're better able to center yourself over your board when you're landing, then that's going to better your chances of not creasing your board or folding it in half even. Yeah, so.
Okay, so, live action, up and riding, David Hubbard on this big right-hander froth bowl of a wave. So, nice wave right there for David Hubbard. Another low-scoring wave so far. 10 minutes into the heat. Last heat, we saw 9 7s and 6s being thrown out like candy. Now, the highest score so far is a 2.0.
Exactly, man. Yeah, we were talking about that last heat, the conditions getting better. I mean, the wind hasn't changed. It's just, I'd say the rip's kind of ripping through the lineup because we've had a series of sets through the first 10 minutes, and that's made it quite washy and wobbly. But it's still pretty glassy out there, and there's not much wind. I think if, let the water settle a bit and then have some nice size sets and A-frames come in, we should see some good performance out there. I mean, we've got Amaury, current world champ out there. Dave Hubb's known to go big given the opportunity, and we've got the Lope dogs, Jorge, Colomer and Heison, Carrion. They've got a lot of support on the beach here. There's a lot of noise going on for the Puerto Rico guys. You can hear it out in the water when you're competing against them. Yeah,
there's six Puerto Ricans actually in the competition, and every time these guys are on the wave, I was down there when I was talking to you on the beach. Everybody just takes this deep breath when the local rider comes in, and they want to cheer for them after they do a big move. So the sport is here for the Puerto Ricans. They just got to step it up and show them what it's all about here in their own backyard.
For sure, yeah. It's good to see as a competitor seeing the local people getting so amped behind their riders. Like I'd say that they're getting as amped behind their riders here as much as anywhere in the world that we've gone for these events. It's really cool. There's a lot of encouragement.
All right, I got a question for you. From the tour so far, 2011 tour, number one, what was your best competitive event? And number two, which venue did you have the most fun at? Those are two different things, and I think I know where the first one is.
Okay, the one I had the most fun at, or I was most look forward to go, was Mexico.
Yeah.
Just because I've been there a couple of times before. I'd love the place, amazing waves, and we got pretty sick waves to the comp. And what was the first one, sir?
The competitive-wise, which one has been your favorite?
Oh, well, obviously the box, yeah. Well,
yeah,
my
exactly.
first place there.
I think I could have answered that for everybody. But that was a pretty awesome win for you. I mean, at your home break, and I'm sure you had a good time afterwards. Here we go, live action, up and riding.
Amaury Laverhne. Yeah, he's got a beeline, pushing down the line on this foamy wave. It could offer us a section on the sandbar, and he rolls through the lip, which is still going to be the highest score of this heat so far, but not a high score like we've seen in the previous heats, but it will put him into the lead, Manny.
All right, we're going to take another look at Amaury Laverhne's wave from Reunion Island, which we just came from, and a beautiful place that is. Reunion Island, local, Amaury Laverhne, bouncing, maintaining that speed line, and that's really critical when you're going to do that bottom turn and look for that section straight off the bottom, finds a lip section, and he made something out of nothing. That wave could have just totally fizzled out and had a lemon in his hand, but Amaury making a good effort. That was a 3-point ride for Amaury Laverhne. Amaury Laverhne, current world champion 2010.
And still in contention, Manny. As we were saying before, he's one of the riders in contention that's had a relatively consistent year, like Jared Houston or Mark McCarthy. And a good result here, say a third or above, depending on how Hub goes, we'll see him in contention on into the Canaries.
So he still have a shot. He still has a shot.
Yeah.
So Amaury Laverhne, probably one of the most flexible competitors. We've seen him doing the splits and moving his torso so he can touch his forehead to his big toe on his left side.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's one of the most athletic guys there is on tour.
Unbelievable.
It's quite aesthetically pleasing, which I'm sure the local ladies will appreciate when they come down and watch the competitors.
Exactly. Here we go. You're coming up next in heat number 3, round number 3, heat number 3 against Kingy, who's right here. The new drop knee world champ. You know what? He was up here. He was telling us about how he felt and everything, but have you been hanging out with him the last couple of days after he got that crown?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've been staying with Kingy, so I've been living every moment with him. And here we have Rider in Black, one of the local guys.
Heison.
It just runs off a bit too quick on him on that left.
So Kingy, how's he really feeling?
Oh yeah, he was pumped on getting the drop knee win. He was really nervous about it, which is a good sign of showing how much you want it. And yeah, just pulling it off in the last minute like he did. Red Amaury Laverhne. He's
Amaury
got
Laverhne.
a nice speed line here, coming off the bottom, but just hitting the rip section where it's run away from him and it's just a bit bumpy and foamy.
I haven't seen anybody. I got to free surf with him in Chile during the Arica Chilean Challenge, and I can't believe how quick he would be able to catch a wave and then paddle back out. He's always 110%. Amaury Laverhne's pretty insane. But another guy, David Hubbard, he's always seems to be under the radar, but he comes out on top, always consistent. That's his thing.
Definitely consistent, yeah. His prone-ability is pretty underrated, I think. He's got all the moves, but something especially that I've noticed that's unknown by a lot of people is just how much he charges. He came to the box this year, he was out on the final, just before the final day, on his own free surfing in 8 to 10 foot box, as big as it gets. He just charges. He goes really hard, and he goes hard off. He does really big air moves like we've seen in Chile when he beat Jeff a couple of years ago. So yeah, you got to respect someone's riding when they can go big like that.
I would have to put my chips in his corner when it comes down probably to the most versatile bodyboarder in the world, By far. I mean, you're actually in there too. You're in the mix of being versatile too.
Yeah.
All right, George Colomer and Heison Carrion, the two Puerto Ricans. George sitting steady in third place. He's only got one wave. So does Heison Carrion, also one wave. These two guys have to pick it up right now with under 20 minutes remaining. Dave Hubbard and Amaury Laverhne leading the charge. This guy, George Colomer, has been a world traveler, and here he is in the main event.
Jorge is a huge local favourite. He was getting so pumped up by the local people. And out the back,
look at that.
Jorge in the tube, as we speak, coming off the bottom for a little finishing move, a little roll. But that was a nice tube, so that he'll get a score on that. Definitely improving his 1.25 that he's already got, Manny.
Yeah, George needed a 6. I call him George, but it's Jorge.
Jorge
Colomer. Are you saying Jorge?
Jorge.
Okay, Jorge. Jorge Colomer is nice wave right there. Nice shack right there. May have to pay some rent if he stayed in there any longer. Comes out full speed and finds a section to finish off this wave. Little sloppy on the inside, but you know what? He completes his wave, and he is fine with that. Great wave for Jorge Colomer.
For sure, Manny.
So he's chasing a 6.75 for first and a 3.25 for second. We're going to stand by, wait for the judges to drop their scores. Jorge Colomer from Puerto Rico in yellow. And looks like
waves
so
coming
far.
as we speak, and looks like
Oh, my, look at
Hub's
that.
having a look at the left. There has been the odd good lefts out here today, real rampy ones. So we'll see how he's
Keep your eyes on the screen,
racing down the
people.
line. Yeah, didn't quite ramp up for him.
You can see the frustration in his
Yeah, definitely. Now he's going to
his little head whip.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of time though. 80 minutes. Just get back out the back and sit and pick off a couple of rampy ones.
Well, we know a lot of Dave Hubbard fans are watching from around the world. Here we are, up and riding. Amaury Laverhne.
He's just sitting high on the wedge. It often takes a while for the wave to get going when you take off out the back there. And now he's waiting for the inside section to... Oh, he's come off.
That's what you call a bail right there. He knew he didn't have the speed for the projection for that roll, so he just bailed mid-flight as he hits the lip. So Amaury's going to head back out. David Hubbard, a little frustrated on that last wave, hit his board, actually shook his head in frustration. Amaury still in first place. Pretty low scoring heat right now. The highest score I'm looking at down on the iPad is 6.65.
Yeah, that's right. That was for Jorge's last tube to roll. So he did get a decent score for that. Still, the all riders are under the 9-point range, so it has been a pretty low scoring heat compared to the last. Not so much because of the riders' ability, but just because of the waves. They've just changed a bit in this heat. They haven't peaked up like they were in the last heat. The rip's got a little bit messier, as you can see. The guys there paddling against the rip, sucking out.
Yeah, the little rip current coming through right through the center of our beach, of the beach here, and it's right in front of the scaffolding. So these guys have Jorge paddling out of the rip current right there. A bit of a struggle. We got a little lull in the action. Everybody thank Ryan Hardy for coming in between his two heats today. We want to wish you any luck, and since you're on the mic, any last words to fans, friends, family, anybody?
Yeah, for sure. If my family's watching at home, it's always great to be thinking of them and hoping that they're watching to say hello. And yeah, everyone enjoy the comp. I think tomorrow's definitely going to be a day to watch. Don't miss it. There's going to be some sick action. I think we're going to get some really good ramps, especially out here. It's going to be mental.
All right, there you have it. Stay tuned through the entire rest of the event live here on IBAWorldTour.com and on RedBull.tv. So again, Ryan Hardy, thank you very much, and good luck in your next heat.
Thanks very much.
You got it, brother. All right, stepping in next, I believe we have Steve Action Jackson, who will return back to the hot seat. Hardy, don't forget your iPhone, and give me back that IBA International cover. We need those here. I'm kidding. All right, brother. We'll see you soon. Good luck, bro. Okay. So he's going to get back down there, talk, hang out with the boys, keep visualizing on the surf out here in Middles, Isabela, Puerto Rico, for the Encanto Pro Puerto Rico. And it has been, so far, pretty insane action. The last heat was incredible. Here we are, Jorge Colomer from Puerto Rico, finding a nice left, comes into the inside section, tons of speed, goes straight through the top. And can he pull off this invert? It looked like he may have hit a bump on the way up to hit the lip from his bottom turn, and that's all she wrote. Totally got smashed on that invert attempt. All right, Steve Action Jackson back in the hot seat. And I say hot because both of these seats are very hot. I'm sweating.
Yeah, we got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It's hot, it's humid. We got crazy action going on out in the water. And we got all kinds of cool people cruising in and out for interviews and commentary. There's a lot going on today, bro.
Yes, a lot of things, especially a world title race up for grabs right now. All eyes are on Jeff Hubbard. If anybody feels any pressure, it is this guy. He is currently in the lead in the tour with points, but anything could happen. One, if he wins the event,
done.
That is if Ryan Hardy does not come in second place. So Jeff Hubbard could be world champ today or during this event.
Yes, and Ryan Hardy, really the rider with the most legitimate shot to try and catch Jeff. So Ryan hoping for some things to come into play, hoping somebody knocks Jeff out of contention, but we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, up and riding out in the water, Dave Hubbard in the white jersey, driving down the line off the bottom, looking for some sweet. Big invert off of that section, tweaking it. Nice landing, comes out through the white water. That was a solid wave from Dave.
Unbelievable. The sun is out. Jorge Colomer, a little wave exchange right there between these two, but David Hubbard coming out on top. Jorge Colomer, the Puerto Rican, putting something together. He's currently in the lead right now, but his lowest scoring wave of his two highest scoring waves of 1.7, that's what he's building on, and I don't know if that's going to be it. Jorge Colomer kicking away from the rocks, trying to make the section. Here's another look at Dave Hubbard's wave.
Dave Hubbard driving down the line. You can see him holding a nice line. You can see the water coming off the bottom. He projects off the bottom, drives up towards the top, eyeing that section. And look at this, Manny. Perfect. Boom. Arms extended, all tweaked out. Gets the board back under him for the landing. Comes out from the white water, sticks the landing. And that's going to be a 7.75 for Dave Hubbard.
Unbelievable. Looking at that photo in slow-mo, or that video in slow-mo, looked like he was at off the wall at taking a left at gas chambers, going into that off the wall right, and that's the beauty of this whole area here on the northwest side of Puerto Rico. It is just amazing. Every time I step out on the sand or on the reef of the beaches around here, it's just beautiful. Look at this guy, Mitch Rollins. He feels the love.
Yes, Mitch Rollins making it through the trials to get into this event, actually making the trials finals. And here he is in the leaderboard round, making it to the main event, hoping to make the cut to the 16 and man-on-man heats. Again, you can see coming up.
Yeah, that is Dave Winchester. He's going to grab the red jersey. If you see the logos here on the staff and on the jerseys, EWS, that was the name that was given to the event before it switched over to Encanto Pro, or you know what, the locals know it as EWS, the Encanto World Series, and Encanto Pro, it's all the same. We are here in the beautiful weather of Isabela. So these guys are going to put it all on the line. Coming up, Dave Winchester in red, Damian King in white, Mitch Rollins in yellow, Noel de Arce in black, the Puerto Rican. All right, so here we go. 3 Aussie versus the lone local Noel de Arce.
Yes, we've got 3 big names from Australia coming up in the next heat. Dave Winchester, Damian King, Mitch Rollins. Ought to be interesting. Meanwhile, up and riding, Heison Carrion from Puerto Rico in the black jersey on that one.
All right, well, Heison's going to have to do something quick because he's got 2 low-scoring waves, and we are at the 11-minute mark left in this heat. All right, so here we go. Jones Russell chilling out, watching his fellow Australians putting their jerseys on, getting ready, preparing for battle. Coming up in the red jersey, Dave Winchester and Mitch Rollins. And back in the background to the right in the tank top, we had Damian King up here earlier. He's going to be wearing the white jersey. How insane is this heat?
This is going to be an interesting heat because Dave Winchester is still in title contention. Meanwhile, Damian King on the outside looking in right now for the Grand Slam Series for 2012. Mitch Rollins, he's looking to secure a spot on those 8 riders from the Global Qualifying Series to move into the Grand Slam Series for 2012. And Noel de Arce, one of the trialists representing his territory of Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, up and riding out in the water in yellow.
Oh my, look at George Colomer going for a smaller inside wave, and then he has to paddle back out under this big wave that Amaury Laverhne sneaks under the lip. Can he make it out of this left? Will he pop out onto the face? Oh, you saw his board flipping and turning in the whitewash. I don't think he's going to make it, but that same wave, that big set, Jorge Colomer had to duck under, and I would not want to be in his shoes.
Yes, getting caught on the inside with the flow we've had coming through yesterday and today, not the place to be. Here you can see the replay. Amaury pulling in, getting deep. Looked like he might be able to find some daylight, and then that wave just kind of took off a little bit. It seems like he got caught up on the inside of that barrel.
Well, somebody who's getting caught inside is Jorge Colomer on the inside, still battling this set, which is marching in, just pounding on this shallow reef at middles here in Isabela. And poor Jorge Colomer in yellows, just getting a beating out there. There he is right there in the whitewash. He's already ducked under about 4 of these monster set waves. And but you know what? He is in top shape physically and mentally. He'll be out in no time as soon as that just goes by. Now the rip current is going to start up. That is going to help him get out to the outside.
Yeah, there's multiple conditions factoring in. You've got a lot of things out here for our international competitors as well as the local guys like Heison, Carrion. You know, currents, reef, whatnot. Here you can see the profile coming up for Heison.
Heison came to us from the trials, 6th place in the trials, and he's a happy camper. Actually, 4 of the 6 Puerto Ricans in the competition came to us from the trials. Check this out. Live action out the back in white. David Hubbard from Hawaii comes around the section. Nice. Well, a little forced roll off the top, but David Hubbard pulls it off. And you know what? It's not the cleanest, not the most beautiful roll, but it is one of those moves you got to do if you're going to take advantage of the wave.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take what you got, and that one didn't really come together the way he wanted, but he kept on and, you know, tried to make something happen there. We'll see how that registers with the judges. Meanwhile, there you can see getting ready to hit the water in the next heat, Dave Winchester in the red jersey. Again, we're going to see 3 Australians against the lone Puerto Rican in this heat. This one would be an interesting heat to watch.
Yes, if there's any Puerto Ricans watching live on the island or wherever you are, this is the heat to watch because Noel de Arce, the lone Puerto Rican, is going against 3 Australians. I would love to see Noel do some damage here. He could be the spoiler. Dave Winchester and Damian King are still in the mix for that. Actually, I take that back. Dave Winchester, the guy in the running, still in contention, one of the contenders for the world title.
Yes, and there you can see up and riding, Amaury Laverhne in red, the current world champion from Reunion Island. Wow, skipping halfway down the face of the wave on that one. There's a whole lot of bouncing around going on there, Manny.
Well, what's happening now is we're getting into those this heat and coming down to the last 7 minutes, and it is a very low-scoring heat. For example, Jorge Colomer, to get into that first place spot, only needs a 4.46 wave, which is pretty much a nice, clean lip maneuver. It could be a roll, ARS, or backflip. At 4.46, easily attainable in these conditions if you catch the right wave. Amaury Laverhne, he only needs a 5.11 for that first place spot. Heison, he's sitting on 2 sticks, and he can pull out of that. He has 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this low-scoring heat.
Sitting on 2 sticks doesn't sound too comfortable, Manny.
Ouch.
Are those chopsticks?
Those are sticks in the form of number 1s.
Here we have the leaderboard standings as of right now. There you can see Jared Houston, Jeff Hubbard, Ryan Hardy, all winning their first 2 heats in the leaderboard round.
Sorry to interrupt. Big wave out the back, and that was David Hubbard on the left, just dropping in. It took him like 2 seconds to get to the bottom of this wave on the back, out the back. And then on the other side, it was Heison Carrion. Finally, a nice solid wave for the Puerto Rican in the black jersey, coming around the section and ends that wave with a nice roll on the inside. So the wave exchange probably going in the favor of Heison Carrion from Puerto Rico.
And Heison getting something to get rid of at least one of those sticks for now.
Yes,
and,
when we say sticks, just to make sure everybody understands.
Sticks.
Yeah, 1. When we say a stick on their scorecard, that means 1 point. Here we go. Look at this. Out the back, Amaury Laverhne.
Amaury driving down the line, punches through the lip on that one, gets a nice cylindrical roll, and comes out through the whitewater.
Unbelievable wave riding right there from your current world champion, Amaury Laverhne from the Reunion Island. Oh, my. Big wave stacking out the back. Another look right now. It is Amaury Laverhne sizing up that lip section. Little late, punches through the lip. Nice roll right there. Comes out of it. Lands perfectly on the soft padding of that whitewash and rides out of it. Great wave right there for Amaury Laverhne. That is definitely going to help him.
Yes, that should definitely help get rid of that 2.0 he had as a secondary score. This should shuffle things up a little bit in the standings right now for this heat. Just waiting for scores to drop.
Amaury only needing a 5.11 for that first place spot, and I'm going to say that wave was probably it.
Probably a what?
Probably better than a 5.11. Wow.
My apologies, folks, at home. If you were here on the beach, there's a lot of surrounding noise, so every once in a while, Manny will say something, I don't quite catch it.
And sometimes Middles, the local dog, will be barking too loud.
All right, and Amaury Laverhne is 6.9 on that last wave. That's enough to bump him into the top spot right now, dropping Dave Hubbard to the second position. Dave needing a 5.15 to move into first. Meanwhile, Jorge Colomer in third needs a 6.26 for first and a 4.46 to move back into that second spot. Meanwhile, Heison in the black jersey from Puerto Rico, the local boy, with a 3.2 on his last wave. He's sitting in the fourth position. He currently needs a 9.7 for first and a 7.9 for second. Almost in combination situation for that top spot.
All right, we do have a little lull in the action right now. Quick rundown of the main sponsors of the Encanto Pro Puerto Rico. Big shout out to El Nuevo Dia newspaper. The official drink, Gasolina, Party in a Pouch. ATH, Evertech, Parador Villas del Mar How, the official hotel of this event, Claro, which is bringing us the signal to broadcast the event. La X, radio station, Sprite, Vitamin Water, Garnier, GoPrint, and Puerto Rico Wire. So those are the main sponsors. We'd like to thank you for the support here for the Encanto Pro Puerto Rico.
All right, and Manny, we're going to have another guest in the booth. We're going to give you a little break. I'd like to welcome into the booth Natasha Zagadia from here in Puerto Rico. She's not only one of the competitors on the World Tour, but one of the event promoters for the Encanto Pro here in Puerto Rico.
All right, here you go, Natasha.
All right. So while we wait for Manny and Natasha to switch out seats, quick rundown out in the water. Amaury Laverhne with a 6.9 on his last wave currently sits in first, followed by Dave Hubbard in second. Jorge Colomer currently sits in the third position, followed by Heison. And it looks like Jorge Colomer in the yellow jersey is up and riding on this left, driving down the line. He's going to bail on that one, not shaping up the way he would like. And joining me here in the booth, Natasha Zagadia.
Hello everyone. What a pleasure being here and in this occasion at my house in my homeland. Welcome all to Puerto Rico, and look at that. Oh my God.
Dave Hubbard with a nice air reverse off of that end section, but doesn't look like he's able to stick with it. I don't think that'll be a complete maneuver with the judges.
Well, what I can say is everything. It's been amazing. We have been blessed with these waves. Puerto Rico is, the island of enchantment, so I think it's just giving off all of us this enchantment in the biggest possibilities ever. So welcome, and thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Now, here at the competition, for the Women's World Tour, you made it out of your quarterfinal heat to go on to the semifinals. You eliminated the world number one, Eunati Aguirre, which basically forced the women's world title to be determined at the final event of the year in the Azores. You couldn't have planned that better. I mean, that couldn't have been planned any better if we had tried.
What I can say, it's been, I don't know, it's just a big mix of feelings. Organizing the event, it's a very special feeling. It's a lot of work, effort, and combining that with competition, it's a big deal. So having heats through the competition as the one with Daimara, that is, 5 times world champion, it's one of the women I most respect because of her career, her personality, her will in the competition, her hungry. It's been amazing. So it was a really, really hard heat, and then of course with Eunate.
And here we have some highlights of Natasha from earlier in the women's competition. You were absolutely ripping out there. It's like you've been on a mission. I jokingly asked you the other day if you were planning on winning this whole thing. You organized the event. You've got everybody from the international bodyboarding community here in Puerto Rico, and you've just got everybody buzzing about the way this event has been organized, the way you're competing. And like I said, you put out the top title contender. The other two were also put out. How do you feel with the way everything's going so far?
Amazing. The first hit when I was in the water with Neymara, and suddenly they say, let's give a round of applause to Natasha Sagardia. That was the first time I saw the competition area from the ocean. Because of so much work, I couldn't surf before. So it was such a big feeling that I started crying during my heat because it's a dream come true.
Now, if you go to the IBA Facebook page or IBAWorldTour.com, you can see the photograph of Natasha coming in, clenching your fist, screaming, the excitement on your face. You know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. That picture worth way more than that, I think. Especially with the hard work that's gone into putting this event. You've spent a lot of time this year. You and your other co-organizer, Bianca, have really been busting your tails to make sure this event goes off. And I have to ask, how stressful has it been?
It's been crazy. It's been crazy because in Puerto Rico, everybody knows what bodyboarding is, of course. But, you know, believing in that a big event like this one can happen was the first, the first word to beat. And we were like one step at a time talking about the event, the importance of having all of these athletes in our island,